Welcome in, everybody. So this is going to be my stream for the beginning of the Edge of Fate. A lot of people have not jumped into the game yet, haven't jumped into Edge of Fate yet. I'm gonna just kind of go through the beginning stages, what has changed from the beginning to now when Edge of Fate dropped. There's been a lot of backlash on this DLC. Renegades is just a little bit higher as far as the content it brought and the activities and things of that nature. So I'm going to go through Edge of Fate, kind of break down for the new players, returning players, what we're going to be looking at, what abilities are new and different, or if any. And then just give a shout out to GameSite. They're partnered with Destiny 2. They have a creator program, and anybody is able to sign up and start with the program. I haven't, lined out the fine details, but I wanted to get a stream out, kind of showcasing Edge of Fate, because that's how I got this creator program collaboration, whatever that entails. So I'm going to continue to make these kinds of streams, just going over Edge of Fate. And I applied for this program back in July when the DLC dropped. But because of the backlash and everything, I waited till Renegades to actually go through and play with the DLC. I played on my other separate account. This is the account that I have that hasn't played since then. So there's a returning players buff, I believe, that is currently in the game. Yes, Returner's Boon. You earn increased experience while Returner's Boon is active. Fire team members who do not have the boon will be granted the Returner's Blessing buff. And you have this from the next 170 days or whenever you join in. You're going to get additional experience, and it'll be for your first 11 reward pass ranks, most likely. That may just be the well-rested buff. But yeah, if you return to the game, you'll have this boon. You'll get extra XP for your fire team members. If you all have it, I think it stacks. I'm not sure. But this is currently what I'm going to be running the campaign with. Currently, Controverse Hold is busted. So we're going to level this up as much as possible. This time around in the game, you used to have different stats. Now you have health, melee, grenade, super class weapons. No longer do you have any unusable stats. Before, there was different stats that really didn't do much, things like mobility. There was another one that really didn't do much, but now you have health, melee, grenade, super class, and weapons. This build that I'm working with is a grenade build, so we're gonna build into grenade as much as possible. We're gonna give us some mods that build towards this build, and we are going to get a few different mods in here, and I will explain why. So this exotic armor piece, it's a gauntlet. It you can resist incoming damage while charging your void grenade with chaos accelerant. And then your charged void grenades return grenade energy on a hit and apply weaken. So weaken is a debuff for the void class. It's in the warlock, it's in the hunter, and it's on the titan. Warlock just does it a little bit better. So this is chaos accelerant. It is an aspect. When you start the game, you have the choice to pick between solar, void, and arc. So if you go void and you go with this build, you're going to want to have chaos accelerant, and you may need to play the game a bit before you can lock all of the different fragments in the subclass. But you will have a starting subclass build once you buy that void, and then from there you go and unlock everything with Glimmer. But the next one is Feed the Void, and what this is going to do is it's going to give you improved restoring, additional health, and grenade energy. So those effects are improved. And then if you defeat a target with the Void ability, you activate Devour, and this just keeps your health up. You automatically replenish your health, and this is something that's usually just present in the Void subclass for the Titan, the Hunter, and the Warlock. So today's gonna just kind of break down the subclass, the different aspects I'm going to be using, and I'll explain why I'm using those. A lot of build videos just like pick this, and that's it. And sometimes, you know, there's creators that explain and go in depth, but they just kind of run through it. I'm going to try and point out those things as they're being used and affected, or how they're working together to create the build, and then just the different effects that you're getting from aspects and all that. So we have the first one is a Echo of Persistence. Void buffs applied have increased duration. So an Overshield, Devour, if we go invisible, our Void grenades are going to weaken. Void ability Final Blows cause targets to explode. And then lingering grenade effects have increased duration. Now there's a aspect that if we wanted to build into this persistence, we can obtain an Overshield, and that would be Echo of Vigilance. Defeating a target while shields are depleted grants a temporary Overshield, and this would extend that. So if that's something you want, and we can definitely try that. Since we're going to just kind of be throwing our grenade and reusing our grenade, we can take this, because we're not using Vortex, we're not using Void Wall, Void Spike, or Axion Bolt, so we can take that out to put this in. And this is kind of what you want to do when you build in your subclasses. If you do get into the game and start playing, you kind of want to look at, am I using something that's going to be affected by this aspect? Because if not, then that aspect is taking away an ability, or just something that can up your game and up your survivability, and you don't want to do that. You want to have, you only have 4 spots, and you want every one of these things doing something that works together and has synergy. So that's, you know, kind of an example of how you want to look at aspects and build your builds once you get to that point in the game. But this is a very, very like popular build right now. Excuse me. And I'm gonna just try and make it my own, try and use the build, use the armor that people use. Here we're gonna grab the grenade, and again we're building into the grenade stat as much as possible. So now that we've hit 100, we increase the damage done by grenades, and we continue to go and build into it. We will get more damage towards our grenade, and what we're doing and trying to make happen here. So the other thing is each armor piece has access to different mods in this section over here. All the armor pieces have the same access to these, but once you get on this side of things, especially if it's a armor piece that is something like an artifice armor piece, these you can only get from certain dungeons at the hard level. So if you have an artifice armor piece, you can have a small spike to something you're building into, or if you're building into two separate things, you can build into that as well. I'm trying to go as much grenade as possible, so we're gonna look around, see what else we can use. Excuse me. So we're gonna go with ashes to assets to get it gains super bonus energy on grenade kills, and we most likely will be killing a lot with grenades because of what the build does. We'll back out of there. On the gauntlets, I went with a grenade kickstart. You can go with the grenade font, and that will boost more energy towards your grenades. So you can potentially push the grenade stat up more because of the font. I mean, we'd almost could double up, but I'm gonna leave it just one for now. If you go to something like I don't know if Destiny Item Manager has it, but let's see. I'm drawing a blank right now. Light.gg. Alright, we're gonna go there, and then we're going to check out the grenade font mod. Grenade font. So for 1 you get 20 stats to grenade stat, for 2 you get 40 to grenade stat, and for 3 mods you get 50 to the grenade stat. So if we fill this whole thing up with just our grenade font, we can potentially get up to 170 on the grenade stat when we have an orb of power. So if you have something that's creating grenades, creating orbs, speak clearly, words, let's use words. So something such as, I don't see it here. Is it on here? Oh yeah. Okay. So firepower. It allows you to create orbs on grenade final blows. So we have one of those. We get an orb. We activate grenade font, and then from there we get 20 to our grenade stat. While that is going on. And that's with any armor charge. If we wanted to go down here to our class mod, let's take these off. We can use something like time dilation, and we can use this finisher. use Reaper. So what I did here is I grabbed a time dilation, and for time dilation, one mod, let's see, how much time does that give us? Time dilation, so once extends armor charge by 15 seconds with 1, by 18 seconds with 2, and for 20 seconds with 3. So just to give you an idea of what I'm using time dilation for, it gives us an extra 15 seconds, I'm sorry. And then this finisher, you consume a stack of armor charge, and your grenade is restored. So for explosive finisher, let's see how much we get for just one mod. So consume 3 or more stacks of armor charge and grant grenade ability energy. So with 3 stacks of armor charge, 70%. With 4 stacks, 80. 5 stacks, 90. And with 6 stacks, you get 100% of your grenade back. So how do we get more stacks? There's a few ways to do that. There's a mod that allows you to have additional, I don't know where it's at, but I know it's not here, is it? Is it on the helmet? Where is it at? It's on the chest piece. Okay. So with this charged up, you can carry an additional stack of armor charge, and it goes up by 1. So that's an additional 2 on top of the 3 base we get. On our feet, let's see what we want to do with our feet. So we'll get an extra stack for stack on stacks. We have room for 1 mod. Better already, because every time we pick up an orb, it'll start our healing. And then we'll do restoration. It'll help us with our ability. Okay. I think that's everything. So we're gonna go from head to toe and talk about what this is gonna be doing. So starting on the helmet, we went with mods for an additional 10 to our grenade stat, an additional 3 because this is the Artifice armor piece. We went assets to assets. We get bonus super energy on grenade kills. There's 2 of those. Now we could change it up and go with something like heavy ammo finder to find ammo, special ammo finder for special ammo. The Void subclass does not have the greatest melee, so for creating super energy or orbs with melee, it's not the move. We could just do Void weapon final blows to create an orb of power, or kind of combine that with the weapons we're using. If we get to the point where we can use like more of these void weapons or solar weapons that I have, I'm gonna go into why I have these weapons and the reasons why I'm using what I'm using after we go through the armor. The armor probably is just as important as the weapons you use, so we're starting on the armor first. Because if you don't have this exotic piece right here, then you can't do any of what we're gonna try and accomplish. So this is a very, very important piece to have. But I guess for now we'll just stick with the super energy on grenade kills. I'm pretty sure we'll be getting our super very, very fast. Because this grenade ability should, in theory, work. For the arms, same thing, additional 10 to our grenade, firepower to create orbs, and grenade font to give us an additional 20 to our, so we'll be at 140 on our grenade stat. And as we level more, we will get armor that has better stats. This is just to start out. The more you play the game, the more you get gear. And once we get a drop for playing the campaign, our armor is gonna be at 300 base. So we'll start building up our power level. Right now we're just starting at a 10. They changed that because originally you started at 10 when Edge of Fate came out, and then there was a lot of controversy for resetting and the grind and multiple other things of how hard it was to get to the point where you can get the tiered armor, and currently tier 5 is the highest tier you can get. I'm sure many people saw the controversy or the bad coverage of the things that went wrong. So we're not going to go into that, but just know that there's tiered armor that drops, and we will be collecting that tiered armor as we're going through. And if it's grenade armor, we're going to definitely hold on to it. Just because of this is the build that we're working with right now, till we get more gear that we can make other builds with. But for now, this is what we're working with. So not much going on in the Controverse Hold. The chest piece is where we went for charged up to get additional stacks of armor charge. We went with 2 of those, and then of course the grenade mod. And then in the end over here, ammo generation, because our heavy ammo weapon is void. Our feet, we have stacks on stacks, orbs of power grant an additional stack, and then we have better already. Health begins to regenerate immediately. And then Orbs of Restoration, we have Orb Power grants a small amount of energy to ability with the least energy. So our Orbs of Power are doing overtime on restoring abilities, health, and then powering up our font, and eventually getting to the class item after the feat. Yeah, we already covered the feat. Now the class item, why we have so many stacks and trying to build as many stacks as possible. We can gain 70% of our grenade back, and then combine that with Feed the Void. It will be almost instantaneous grenade restoration, as long as Feed the Void is up. In time dilation, we have armor charge has a longer duration, so we have more time to use our armor charge abilities or fonts or whatever it may be. And then Reaper, after we use our class ability, which is our Rift, the next weapon Final Blow spawns an Orb of Power. So let's get started with the campaign. I've talked enough about the build. Gotta talk about the weapons. Sorry, just kidding. Weapons. So, since this is a grenade-focused build, we have grenade-focused weapons to support our build. So stuff like Ignition Code has the Demolitionist perk. Kills with this, we can either generate grenade energy or we can use our grenade, and it automatically reloads, and we have 1 shot per magazine. So if we throw a grenade, we have our shot back, or we can slide and restore our magazine. I don't have anything other than slide shot for that. On my other account, I have multiple weapons that have different things, like something like Vorpal and the Demolitionist. So Vorpal is increased damage to bosses, vehicles, and any like yellow bars, stuff like that. It just helps you melt them. Something like this Breach Light, Demolitionist, and Hatchling. We can spawn Threadlings and, restore our grenade ability. But for now, we're just gonna go with this pulse rifle. It has Firefly and Demolitionist. I want to see if the robot grenades are affected by my grenade stat. I don't think they are, but it'll be cool to look at to see if it works or does anything different. I have a fusion rifle that has auto loading, and it also has demo, so I can either reload with auto loading or I can use demo to reload automatically. This pulse rifle has demo and volt shot. This pulse rifles either have Firefly or One for All. One for All is a perk that you hit 3 targets and it increases damage for a moderate duration. One for All. So the bad thing about some of the words they use is like moderate duration or short amount of time, stuff like that. Something like One for All, though, let's see. I don't want refit. I just want the perk or the trait, whatever. 11 seconds. So for 11 seconds, you have a buff on your damage. and you get 35% increased damage with that. So one for all, a lot of people like one for all because of that. So if you're just starting out the game, one for all is a very good perk to have. Demolitionist is a very good perk to have if you're using a grenade build. Slide shot or something like auto loading are good to have for grenade launchers, rocket launchers, just things that shoot and you have to wait a long time for reload. It's really good to have when you're just storing it. You use another weapon, you wait a few seconds, and then you go back to using that weapon or whatever it may be. It's good for damage rotations. It's good for just basic ad clear, just depending on the weapon. It just depends on what the situation is. And as you get more into in-game, those perks that you have on your weapons matter a lot more. But for a campaign, we're not going to go that deep into it. I just kind of want to showcase the build that I have and then just kind of toy around with some of these weapons. So we'll get into the campaign. I've talked enough. I've been talking for 30 minutes about builds and mods and what have it. But yeah, this creator program for the Destiny 2.
What follows light and shadow is silence.
Interesting.
That silence reigns.
Just watch for now.
I am summoning you as a new age begins. I see sapient life turn to each other. They remember how to look to the stars. They remember curiosity. They remember how to thrive. But they have forgotten. They forgot we were here long before the Traveler. They forgot that they need us. But they are fated to remember. I will remind them. I'm sure you will. But not through me. Find someone else. My will is my own.
So that's the intro to Edge of Fate. That character is key throughout the whole campaign, so we'll be talking with her more in a bit.
I think it's safe to say this is what's disrupting our beacons. I've seen primitive trains like this in old ruins. Never liked the look of them. These readings have a bearing. Gravimetric distortions leading out past orbit. Like footprints. Like a trail we're meant to follow. Guardian, I'm sending coordinates your way. It appears we have an invitation.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of second guessing the grenade I picked. We'll see how it goes right now, though. Also, that scene will make more sense later on in the story. Alright, so.
Guardian, I can see you've got Elixni hostiles incoming. I'm picking up what I think is a distress signal. I've been able to isolate a radio signal through the telemetry. It has some primitive decryption on it. Should only take me a moment.
Change. Crouch.
Watch your head. I've never seen Elixni move like this. Mind their vertical, Guardian.
As I get a kill, I keep my Devour going. Every time I use the Void ability, I proc Devour.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
And right now I
Lodi
have armor
transmitting.
charge,
Strange
so
matter
my
detected.
grenade stat
Singularity
is
opening your local HI and NHI population.
most likely
I can't tell when this
higher.
Mayday was sent. Whoever made it understands the danger this place is in. But this signal's too weak to have reached us on Earth.
The more
This isn't
enemies
our
around.
invitation.
Ikora, it looks like we've got a blockade up ahead.
That's how fast we're going back.
singularity, a distress call, and now another ancient train. But how do they all connect? More importantly, how can we help? The status of the singularity will worsen with time. We can't do anything about that right this moment. But discovering a locking mechanism this complex, and a radio transmission that sounds human, means we could be on the precipice of encountering another pocket of civilization. By my triage, the most effective thing we can do right now is find the source of the distress signal. The trail we're following leads past the train, then scatters. We'll need to get through to find who called for help. The mechanism here appears to be missing some pieces. I've tracked materials nearby that closely match the frequency of the device. Find them, Guardian.
Alright, well, easy enough, right?
Lodi transmitting. Status Moon 6. Adrift. Odysseus protocol active.
Odysseus protocol. We've heard that before. Wait, there's a backlog. Keep moving, Guardian. I'm going to see if these transmissions can give us any more information.
For the most part, I didn't have any problem using my
Dark
grenade.
matter spike in your vicinity. Could be one of the gravimetric
And then I have
distortions
this
Drifter
weapon
was
that
talking about.
helps me
Guardian, you alright?
regain grenade energy. So for the amount I was recovering every time, pretty
Vital
decent.
stabilized. Must be a fluke.
Time to transform into a Metroid.
Well, this sure is new. All your vitals appear to be in order, but your molecules are moving unbelievably fast.
Guardian, this energy pattern is distinct from your expected paracausal signature. It matches the dark matter readings from when we landed. It appears you've
This
managed
is
to somehow
something new they added
fuse with
to
dark
this
matter.
DLC. And I'm gonna be honest, you're using this the whole campaign. And I mean the whole campaign. It gets to the point where it's a little repetitive, but once you beat the campaign and you get through it, you really don't have to worry about it again, because you get to choose what you do from there on out. For whatever reason, they made it to where you can unlock to use it to the end of the campaign.
to invite us to a black hole.
So this is one of the
Seems
new
whoever sent our
weapons.
invitation values
Not a tiered
consistency and
weapon yet.
catastrophic interference.
Oh yeah, it's a tier
About
1.
that. I got info,
so,
but you're
tier
not gonna
1.
like it.
Try me.
The gravimetric distortions, the dark matter, the weird train. An invitation? There's only one group of jokers I know who get up to those kinds of theatrics. The 9.
Well, that certainly is a theory.
Oh my gosh.
Although I would expect to have already heard from the emissary if that was the case.
Okay, now that they've stopped talking. So this is the new weapon layout. Now there is a stat called ammo generation. So instead of relying on random luck for ammo to drop, you have weapons that have a ammo generation stat. The more higher, the more you generate. And then you have mods that can give you boosts to your ammo generation. So something like abundant ammo will help create more ammo. It will build your special and your heavy bar up to where you create it. So now you know when you're going to create your ammo. And if you look on the bottom of where the weapons are, on the bottom left hand, you see your currently equipped weapon, which is my heavy. This is my sword, and then this is the pulse rifle I was using. So at the bottom of this list, there's a green for special ammo. It has 2 bullets, and then there's a purple with 3 bullets, and that's your heavy ammo generation. So those are the bars you're filling up as you play the game. And just depending on what mod is slotted into your weapon, like older weapons can't have that mod. I don't know if this can. Okay, so yeah, this can, it can be enhanced and then I can use it, or a crafted weapon can use it. So we are going to pop this into our spikes to raise our power up a little bit. And currently your power doesn't really matter. It only matters once you get to the end game. Oh, and one more thing. Now, instead of trying to figure out what means what, you can hover over some of the things on the screens of armor and weapons. So if you hover over this tier bullet right here, it tells you tier 1 has base stats. A tier 2 weapon will have 2 bullet points, and it'll have enhanced traits, and you get 2 per column. So this column, this column. And then if you go to 3, you have 2 and 2. So 2 right here, 2 right here. Oh, these just become enhanced. You don't get an additional one until tier 3. Sorry. Tier 4, same thing. You get an enhanced barrel, magazine, and mod. All your mods are enhanced. And then at tier 5, you have 3 perks in each column and 2 enhanced traits. And then you have cosmetics for a tier 5, and then you have mods, magazine, barrel, and origin trait all enhanced. So all of this stuff will be enhanced on tier 5. Plus you will have 3 and 3 right here of traits. And then sometimes you have 1 or 2 additional origin trait right here in this column. So that's what's new with the weapons. You have some new traits that you can get on weapons, but we'll see what we get to drop for us throughout the campaign. Let's go ahead and continue. Let me send a message real quick.
rerun the telemetry to see if I can find another radio transmission and get us some answers.
Achieved precarious stabilization, but still request evacuation due to hostile NHI. If we can't close the singularity, we're pulling everyone in with us. Anyone? You out there?
Odd. The timestamp on this transmission doesn't make sense. It comes after the Mayday, but the timestamp says it was recorded many months before. Either someone is intentionally trying to scramble these transmissions, or the singularity is causing more problems than we thought. From earlier. They are persistent. Stay vigilant and don't let them come back again.
I thought I'd recognize those symbols. This is the House of Exile. The last time we encountered these Elixni was on Luna. They're called the Exiles because each of them were exiled from their original house. That's the last of them, and we've got what we need. Let's head back to the train and see if we can't get past that blockade.
No more transmissions on the backlog. And the timestamps are all off. Keep heading for the train. Maybe we can triangulate a location.
So here's a armor piece, and armor pieces as well have tiered. The highest tier now you can get is a 75, but that's not including the tuning you can do with the mods. And the highest you can go for each tier is listed. So a 1 is a 57, A 2 is a 63, a 3 is a 69, 4 75, and then 5 goes up to 75, but that doesn't include the tuning you can do. And the tuning is just you can swap out, so subtract from a stat and add to another stat you want to add to. So let's say I didn't want health, but I wanted more either super or weapon. I can pick one of the mod to tune to subtract the health or whatever I wanted to subtract, and then it would add in subtracting that stat, and it would be an additional box right here. The other thing is the armor now has set bonuses, so the armor can either come with a certain set bonus, and if you have 2 pieces of that armor set, you can get 1 trait, and if you have 4, you get this trait right here. So if you have 4 total, I believe you have this and this active with 4 pieces. So armor's a little bit more useful now. There's a reason to collect armor, there's a reason to build with it. And last but not least, each one has a armor archetype. This is a Paragon armor, so this is gonna boost your super and then your melee. So if you want to focus on super, or if you need something with melee and super, Paragon is what you want to go for. There's also a brawler archetype, and there is a grenadier archetype, which is probably what we want to have for this set, or this build that we're using. That will increase the amount of stats that we can build into the grenade stat if we had a grenadier. So, continue the story. Probably be on for maybe another hour or so to do this playthrough on this stream. So if I have time, I will be on later this evening. If you're joining or watching this later after I'm off, I'll have to step away for a bit, but I will be back to continue playing. Yeah. Yep, gravity won that one. And I need to be in Matter Spark. So this is the kind of thing that you're going to be facing through this campaign. The jumping sucks. I'm not even kidding. It could be a skill issue, but in my humble opinion, the jumping sucks here in Matter Spark. So you can't run them all bungee. Forgot where to go. Return to